Welcome back to the Colts Cast. Here's Jamal Lawrence. I'm Eric Smith, your host of the Colts Cast. Jamal is back from vacation. Welcome back, Jamal.
Yeah, welcome back from my vacation. Yeah, it was straight. It was straight. Dude, these comments, man, going wild out here.
We lit. Where'd you go this time?
Hey, I went to work, then I drove back home. Eric Dunn, he been talking. Eric Dunn been talking in the comments, man. Listen. I guess y'all right though. Eric Dunn, that's who's been commenting, saying I've been on vacation. Every time I go on vacay, then something happens with the Colts. Peekaboo, I'm back. No, I'm just kidding. So let's see what happens. Now, I'm excited to be back. Obviously, I missed yesterday's breaking news. Eric had the opportunity to get on here and share the good news with y'all. But as always, man, it's good to talk some Colts. Good to see some changes being made. We're going to talk for a few minutes about the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful about it, and see what's going on. But before we do, y'all know the drill. Hit that like, subscribe button, drop a comment below. Let us know how you feel. You listen to the second round of hearing about Sauce Gardner in the building for the Colts. Man, oh man.
Reunited with Alec Pierce.
That's right. The Cincinnati boys.
Yeah. So let's talk about it. We kind of broke the initial news yesterday. Now we kind of get in the weeds of it, the pros and cons of acquiring Sauce Gardner. Jamal, which side are you leaning on? Like, how do you feel about it? Because Colts Nation, the Colts Cast Nation, does not know your thoughts on this trade. Give them your initial thoughts, and we'll get deeper into it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun one. It's a spicy one. It's what we wanted to see. I'll be the first person to tell you. Last week when we were in Columbia, Eric, this wasn't when we were chilling, but it was when we were at the house with some other buddies from up here. We were talking about this, and I was saying how I don't think Chris Ballard will make any additional moves for the trade deadline. The way this team is humming right now, I don't see anything coming. If maybe down the pipeline, maybe if we were doing a little bit lesser, maybe we could make something to try to bump it up and elevate a little bit. But I said the way this team is humming, I don't really think he's going to make that move. And boom, to my surprise, out of nowhere, to all of our surprise, out of nowhere, that notification popped up, and it was just like, yo, all right, Ballard out here doing a little something. Of course, we talked about it yesterday, the 2 first-round picks, as well as the former second-round pick, A.D. Mitchell. Initially, when I saw that, I was thinking, man, it's been a minute since we've seen, a 2 first-rounder go like that. But then I thought about it for a little bit longer, and I said to myself, well, obviously there's a method to the madness. We look at the trajectory of where this team is going right now. And as where it's going right now is that we're going to have a very, very late pick in the first round, essentially, almost a second round pick for what it's worth as what we projected. I think we're going to be projected 30, 31, 32, something along those lines.
We're already talking about we're
the second best team or I guess the first best team in the league right now. So if it were to end right now, we would be at the back of the pack. So when you think about it like that, and if we have 2 years of that success, then is it really bad losing that first round draft pick for 2 years? I don't know. I mean, you can weasel your way down. You can make some trades, whether that be trade up or trade back to make up for that. I mean, we talk about the middle of the pack and the end of the pack and that first round all the time. Every year we do a draft show, we talk about that and how it doesn't matter where you truly are once you get to around those numbers, the 25, 26, 27, all the way up to 32. So my initial reaction was, okay, I like where this is going. I do think it's a lot, but I'm thinking about it a little bit more. I'm just thinking to myself, this could be the beneficial factor for the Colts, especially when we think about how clear the team is in a win now mode. And I say that because with the win now mode, I think back to a couple episodes ago. I can't remember the exact one, Eric, but we've been talking about how this team has not really created or generated the pressure, the sacks, and all that stuff we would like to see on the defensive line. Well, I think adding this new piece in Sauce Gardner to this defense will obviously, mesh up the receivers a little bit more to where quarterbacks may not have as much time to let a play develop and figure out who they want to pass it to, which then will create additional time for our defensive line to get to them and create these pressures and these sacks that we want to see, that we need and that we want. Right. So I think it kind of goes hand in hand with that of what the future could be for this team. Obviously, I know you talked about Mooney coming back from IR. I think it's going to be this week. I haven't had a chance to fully look it up and see.
That's the hope.
That's the hope. But again, you get those two guys in there. I mean, that's dangerous. Any quarterback, I think you're shaking a little bit because now you got to figure out, hey, what am I going to do? Who's going to get open first? Now I have pressure coming at me here. I have safeties stepping down here. I got stunts coming at me. So now their brain is just a little scatterbox, and we just have one additional piece that happens to be a lockdown piece. And I'm going to let you speak in just a second, Eric, but I know you talked about it yesterday too, where people talked about, hey, maybe Sauce hasn't had, he hasn't had a great year last year. He ended the year not so hot, but like you mentioned, you truly just can't be number one. You can't be the top of the class at everything. You just can't be. You can try, but everybody's gonna have a little bit of a downtime with that. And not to mention, some of these numbers could be a little off too as well, because when you're only getting 2-3 receptions thrown at you a game, I mean, you make one catch, all of a sudden you're at 33%. You know what I mean? It's 66% for 2 catches. So Sauce, he brings that element to the team that we need to have another shutdown corner to add to this defense. Has already been playing really well. That's refreshed and revitalized. That is even getting more refreshed and revitalized. Having him in here right now with us, that I think just opens another door and puts this team into a 6th gear. Get out of that 5th gear that we've been in, but kick to a 6th gear and really show that it's time. It's time for that. So those are my
Yeah.
pro.
Yeah, I think when you talked about how this is going to be like a chain reaction for the defense, I totally agree. You strengthen one portion, that's going to make the whole defense better. We may see this defensive line even flourish more. Linebackers may play better too. It's just like it's a cohesive unit when it comes to that. You get the D line better, makes the secondaries lives easier. So I completely agree with that. Sauce, I guess the Colts are like, hey, this is the last piece of the puzzle to the Super Bowl, and I'm hoping that that's the case. He's been playing pretty well this year. Like you said, last year he had a down year, but his rookie year he was amazing. Sophomore year he was amazing. So like, you're getting a fairly young cornerback, probably soon entering his prime, that at an expensive price though. So we do have to talk about that. That contract is a little expensive. He has a 4-year, $120 million extension that with the Jets, and now the Colts have that, and they're inheriting basically all of that. I don't think they're doing any restructuring or altering of the contract. I think that most of that money is going to hit next year. So it'll be interesting. You know how Ballard's always been, just like, hey, we got all this cap money. We're just going to chill with it. Mm-hmm. And I think next year it's going to be completely different. You add Sauce Gardner. You have to re-sign Daniel Jones if you believe that's your quarterback of the future. And that salary is going to double, close to triple the way he's playing this year. We'll see what happens though, because this schedule is about to get tight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we've had one of the easiest schedules up until this point. You look at who we play over the next 5 or 6 weeks, boy.
Yeah, it can get ugly real quick.
Call it a gauntlet, whatever you want, but this is the true test. Like, the Colts need to win these games. The offense needs to show up. They need to show why they're the most efficient offense in the NFL, one of the best offenses since the 2007 Patriots. So pros and cons, like, okay, pro, you're getting an elite cornerback, hopefully, for a very long time. That's the goal. You probably want to have him on the team for a while, especially during this run. Gardner's a lockdown corner. He's been one of the best in the league a few years. So you get that. Lou Anarumo has to be completely ecstatic to just get, like, first year, he just gets all these guys, Mooney Ward, DeForest Buckner, Grover Stewart's, get Laiatu. He gets all these guys he didn't have with the Bengals. So I would say that's a pro. The con is just like, I look at this. I look at Chris Ballard's trade history. The last time he traded some picks away, it completely hamstrung this franchise for a while. And that's where you started seeing those Band-Aid quarterbacks coming in. Because he gave up a first and I think a second It became a second round pick, right? It
Yeah,
was
it
a
became
conditional third.
yeah.
So you look at that, and then you start shuffling quarterback. Like, what if Daniel Jones doesn't work out? What if what we saw last week is just a preview of what's to come? That's when the wheels will completely fall off. And we saw what happened last year when we didn't have competent quarterback play. I for one, like I'm still a Daniel Jones fan. I don't think that's the case. However, 5 turnovers from one person has you scratching your head just a tad bit. I know he was getting pressured a lot. Offensive line wasn't playing well. Some guys weren't getting open on certain plays. I get that. So it's one game. We can't panic. But when I turn this pod off, I ain't gonna lie. That shit pops up in the back of my head, man. Where you see this Daniel Jones in a Giants uniform and what he did there. And
I should have put a clip in. Too late. Keep going.
It's scary to think about, Jamal, because you're putting all your pieces, which this is kind of what we said what Chris Ballard should do. Like, your back's against the wall at this point. You probably want to mortgage the future to win now. Get your AFC South title. Make sure that house don't have to go up for sale up in the mountains. Look, and he's done it, but he's paid a hefty price. This is the Micah Parsons price. And pass rushers are the second most valuable position in the NFL. I don't know where you rank cornerback after that, but it's not up there right behind quarterback. So time will tell how this trade pans out. Sauce Gardner has to stay healthy. He has to play at a elite level. We have to see it. Like, he has to have an immediate impact on this defense, which we're hoping he does. I think Lou will get the most out of him, but you have to see it because I think he's a good fit. We've already talked about it. He's gonna be scheme versatile. Like, Sauce Gardner can do it all. Very press coverage guy, lengthy arms. He's going to be able to do a lot of things, be a playmaker, be a ball disruptor. But, man, we got to see the results. So I don't think you can put I hate the draft grades and shit like that immediately after the trade. I mean, yeah, you can say that on paper, but we have to see how this actually pans out.
Yeah, without question. I mean, and like you said, I mean, if I'm Ballard, I'm 100%. I'm throwing everything at it because, for one, either A is going to work, or B, I'm going to leave a hot mess and I'm going to be out and it ain't going to be my problem anymore and I'm not going to care. So it's just like, hey, why not throw it all at the wall and see what sticks? Because something's going to work, something's not going to work, and it is what it is at that point.
He threw it all at the wall. I know you were saying that those mid to late round picks aren't anything, but we found Tyler Warren in the mid first. Latu.
Yeah, that's because people weren't using their brain. People
Quiddy Pay, whatever you say about him, late first.
All right, let's not get that.
Oh, what you mean?
Quiddy Pay is not getting re-signed. He hasn't done enough to get re-signed. I mean, Chris Ballard's going to do it because he likes it. He likes his guys. I think 90% of our team is homegrown, so he's gonna resign him. But does he deserve to be? That's a different topic for a different day. Different topic for a different day. I will say one of my biggest cons though is I would imagine being AD. My man wake up every morning I'm on my way to get a ring. I'm about to get me a ring, and my man woke up and looked at his phone. I know he was sick to his stomach. I would have been throwing up to go. People go to the Jets to die. Unless you get drafted by the Jets, you go there to die. All right, let's be clear about that.
The Jets are finally blowing it up.
Yeah, they are.
I was mad they didn't trade Brees Hall. I have him on my dynasty team. Really wanted him in a better situation, but now he's fucking stuck with the rebuilding Jets who have no future. But they're finally they're starting that clearinghouse process, which I thought the Colts were going to do at some point, but they traded 2-star players away. I don't know, man. We've seen the upside, so it sucks to see him go because I thought he was going to be a successor to
for sure
a potential wide receiver on the Colts team right now. But it's obvious what Chris Ballard wants. He feels good about this receiving core, and he was okay with letting AD Mitchell go if he could go get another elite player at another position. Like, I think we saw enough of the upside and the downside to say let's let him go develop somewhere else.
Oh, for sure. I mean, and I'm not knocking that at all. I mean, again,
Hey, you are.
sometimes you really no, not. Hey, listen, I didn't have any emotional ties to AD. He's a dog. I like him, but I mean, like, there are going to be other wide receivers we can go pick up at some point. So is what it is with that. But no, like you said, he can go develop someplace else, and I get it. And obviously, it's just like we talked about with the Richardson stuff. There's a lot more going on behind the scenes than what we're seeing. I'm not going to sit here and say that him dropping the ball and him getting that penalty on, for JT's touchdown was the thing. I think there was some developmental issues going on, as well as probably some attitude issues going on. As they talked about his last year, but for his slumps that he had, talked about it's been talks the entire time. Again, there's a lot more going on that we could see, and it's unfortunate for him because I feel like he would have had an opportunity eventually. But again, when you're in go mode right now, you gotta trim the fat, and whatever that means, that you do it right then, and you do it right there. So Ballard isn't just as much as go mode as the rest of the team is. So if that meant that you weren't ready to go when he laid down the law, then it is what it is, and you get ready for what's next in your career, in your future. But I think that I think the only other con I would say is just goes back to, like you mentioned, and we'll have to do an episode on like some cap space and all that stuff, because I know the Colts have a ton of money, but we're going to be taking a lot of money. I think D-Bucks, we're going to be getting like 26, 29 million or something like that next year. Of course, you're going to be looking at what we're going to be paying Pierce. We're going to be looking at for potentially sign Quiddy Pay. We're going to start, going
Michael
to the
Pittman.
Michael Pittman. Yeah, there are a lot of people who's going a lot of money, especially if this team takes us to the next level. And that's where it's going to get hairy. That's where we're going to see a lot of restructuring and willing and dealing. And I hope at that point, Ballard has a game plan at least already in mind right now of what he will want to do,
Oh
because
yeah.
at that point, I mean, it's you don't want to mess around with people's money when it comes to that, because people get antsy, people get feisty, and they have something in their back pocket now. Well, now I help bring this team a championship and so on and so forth. So now pay me what I'm owed. Back in the day when it was mediocre, it didn't matter. You're like, all right, well, pay me up. Let's keep it moving. But when you get a little, get a little ring in your pocket or whatever the case is, then it's a different beast. So we'll
There's
see.
gonna be some moves, and
Yeah,
some of your favorite players might not be on this team in a
that's
couple of
right.
years or even a year. And that's just the business of the NFL. Now I'm hoping we can retain most, but there's definitely some guys, if this doesn't pan out, or just even if it does pan out, like, we're gonna see some guys not be worth it. And you've already mentioned one player. So it's coming, but I
Mhm.
like this core right now.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of strengths on this team, and it's obvious by a lot of metrics. So, you know, we've had a semi struggling defense this past year so far, or this season. And you add Sauce Gardner to the mix, to this depleted unit, and things should be pointing up. That should be enough to move the needle to say that's a contender.
Absolutely, absolutely right. Which is the last thing I'll say is crazy. I was thinking about this yesterday. It's crazy to think that this team, like I was looking at the playoff calendar for tickets and all that other jazz, and I was like, dang, it's nuts to think about. This team legit has the potential to go to a Super Bowl. That's nuts when you think about where literally all last year, we and the year before that and the year before that, and we're just like, yo, what's going on? Like,
Well,
what's going on?
we talked
So
about it last season, like how many games were one score games.
right,
A lot of
right,
divisional
we did.
matchups, it was like
Hmm.
one score, like most of them were like 3 or 4 points difference. And that was with somebody throwing the ball and completing 45% of their passes.
Hmm.
And we were talking about, well, his upside, yada yada. But now you get a guy in there who can run a functional offense. It just unlocked the ceiling, the limit on this team. So, but yeah, I think we might. I don't know if we're the only pod that talks about the Colts going to the Super Bowl. We might need to pipe that down, because, like
Oh,
I
for sure.
said,
The
that
gauntlet is about to happen. The gauntlet is about to happen. I mean,
that
those.
schedule is getting tough.
Yeah, yeah, and I know we're wrapping this up, but just for y'all who maybe don't have the schedule in front of you, or maybe you're not too hip on the schedule. Obviously, we play the Falcons this week in Germany, but then we play the Chiefs and KC. Then we play the Texans. Then we play the Jags in Duval. Then we go to Seattle and play. Then we play the Niners on Monday Night Football. Then we have the Jags again, and then the Texans. I mean, it's not easy. Those divisional games are going to matter. I can guarantee the Texans going to play their heart out when they play us. I don't care what they've been playing like this season. The Jags are definitely going to play their heart out. The Chiefs, the Seahawks. I mean, we saw what Sam Darnold. He may have choked in the second half, even though it didn't matter because they were up by so much. But
no, they balling, bro.
Before. Yeah,
Seahawks.
Jackson. Yeah, I mean, we gonna need Sauce for Jackson Smith and Jigba. Let's be clear.
Yo, let's be clear. Playing like the best wide receiver in the league.
Yeah,
Jackson Smith and Jigba, like dog.
Yeah, different.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the true test.
I don't think there's anybody that's covering him well this year.
Yeah.
So he might be matchup proof. Yeah. But yeah, a lot of good teams coming up, Jamal. That's all we got.
That's all. That's it.
Look, that's going to be it for us, everyone. Thank you for listening to the Colts Cast. We are always live on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or any platform you use to listen to podcasts. And we'll be back next time to give you some more Indianapolis Colts content. Y'all take care.
Take it easy.